And we are live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of MovieCast. This is a special edition where myself, Dana Abercrombie, is going to be joined once again by Mr. Richard Bailey to talk about the Oscars. So, how are you doing, Richard? And are you ready to talk some Oscars?
Yes, I'm doing good, Dana, and I am ready to talk very harshly about the Oscars for the movies they nominated this year.
Ouch. Sounds like you're ready to start fighting. So, why not just get this thing started then? So those who didn't know, the Oscars will be live on February 24th at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 5 p.m. Pacific Time, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. on ABC, where it is always. And of course, they're going to have like maybe 1 million people watch it. That's usually all. It's usually low rated. We get angry about this all the time, but it still somewhat holds our interest. So, starting off at the very beginning, the very top, do you have your anger ready?
Oh,
I'm about to,
yes.
I'm gonna tell you what the best picture is. So, here we go. We're gonna start with Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice.
Hmm.
How is that? Usually it's 10, but this year it's only 8 Best Picture nominees. So, tell me what you think about Black Panther. First off, we'll start with that.
So listen. Now, let me just say that I am highly appreciative of Black Panther because I know when I went to go see that in the theater, just seeing people dressed up in dashikis, seeing the kids dressed up in Black Panther costumes, that was a very, very uh, I want to say inspiring experience because I never would have thought we would have seen a movie, especially a black superhero movie. And I know that we've had Blade before, but this is just a different experience because it was a Marvel cinematic universe type of character. So I'm appreciative of all of that. With that said, I'm glad Black Panther was nominated, but there is no chance in hell that that's going to win that award. So I'm glad that it got nominated, but no, that will not win. And as for Black Klansman, I thought Black Klansman was a pretty good movie. Do I think it is worthy of getting nominated? I don't know about that. But yeah, that's what I have to say about Black Panther and Black Klansman.
Ouch, golly. Yeah, my thing is that with Black, but that's harsh. Even I was like, I love the movie. You're like, no, it doesn't deserve any awards. Yeesh.
Oh
I
no, oh no. I mean, yeah, I think it deserves recognition. I don't know if I would say it's the best movie, but yeah, it deserves recognition though. So I'll give him credit for that.
That's
Oh, go
mean.
ahead.
That's harsh though. But yeah, my issue with Black Panther is that we've had the controversy, the hashtag Oscar is so white for a while now. And every year they're like, oh, let me change it up. Let's throw some people of color in there. And let's take Black Panther, who was one of the biggest movies by African Americans, loved by African Americans, and starring African Americans, and put it in there. And I'm not saying that it's deserving of a Best Picture, absolutely. But the Oscars itself, it kind of, because of how they are in the past, it kind of makes it feel so unauthentic. It makes it feel fake and phony. It's not authentic. So for me, it's just like I'm very happy it's there, but I don't fully. I'm wondering if it's more like, oh, let's be more inclusive type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's my only issue. Also, Black Klansman for me. Sorry, I know you didn't like it. I'm very happy that it was nominated. My absolute issue is with Bohemian Rhapsody,
Oh yeah.
which is direct. We first there are several problems with Bohemian that I have. One, it's directed by an alleged child rapist,
Hmm.
Brian Singer, who has been alleged for decades of raping young boys, along with other people who supplied him boys. Then the movie itself was very boring. Aside from the performances and Rami Malek's performance, I was bored to death. So I don't feel that this is a Best Picture nominee for me. Maybe
Well,
it's, yay, it came out, but not best picture.
well, I agree 100% with what you have to say about that. I also have heard that there are some things that in that movie that are historically inaccurate for the time period because there was certain events that happened at a different time, and they kind of altered that to try and make it, I guess, a little bit more dramatic, or so to speak. Um,
Right.
so I mean, I don't know how accurate all of that information was, but I can say that yeah, I did enjoy obviously Mr. Malik's performance. He did a good job, but the movie, nah, I would not say best movie either. So we are in
Yeah.
agreement on that. And just
Yeah.
to clarify, Black Klansman wasn't a bad movie. I don't think it was bad at all. No, no. Um, I was surprised it was nominated for best actor for best I'm gonna say best movie, but yeah, it wasn't a bad movie. Definitely better than a lot of the other horrible movies I saw this year. So I am glad the Spike got his nomination for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on also my thing also has to be with I loved very much problematic. Green Book to me felt like a Hallmark movie. And I told you my issues before where it's like, yeah, there's racism, but look, we can be friends. All we need to do is just take a car ride together. Woohoo! Well,
Yeah.
there were elements such as when they went up to that plantation and you saw Mashallah Ali's character kind of look and see they weren't slaves, but basically they were still slaves on that plantation, and how they looked at him and they looked like they've never seen a black man dressed like that before and have a white. Other than that, and other than Marshall Ali's character getting beat up for like 5 seconds in a bar, I would have I would have really never knew it was about racism, even including the fact that you had like one restaurant scene where he's like, I would like to dine here. No, you're in the deep south. I'm expecting more. Do I expect him to be lynched? No, but I expect it to be way more. Also, it
Yeah.
is inaccurate. The family has come out and said that this was very inaccurate and that no one has gotten the story, the part of the story from Mashallah Ali's character, their side of the story, and that nothing of this was really that true, and that Nick Vadalanga, Nick Vadalanga is the son of the character Viggo Mortensen has played, and he allegedly, I don't know so much if it you could say alleged because it's like it was on his Twitter. He is a person. He has put in things about Mexicans and Muslims, and he has talked badly about African Americans. So to write this cookie cutter, we are the world type of movie is just odd. And in the movie itself, I'm sorry. Yes, you can say like, yeah, for a moment, it makes you feel good. You're like, yay, this is great. But it's to me, it's like it's to appease the audience without angering them. And I did not like that. And like the more I think about it, this is not deserving of like a best picture. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
have there's too many issues that I have with it. And if you want to take the subject, they never really fully dived in. It was just like, you come here, colored boy, and that's just literally just all of it. And then at the end, they remained best friends to the bitter end. We ended racism. No, no. It's like, no. It makes, sorry to say, but it kind of makes the Caucasian audience kind of, comfortable. It makes them comfortable. So, well, if you have like a movie, for example, now even though that was riddled with problems as well, but Birth of a Nation, or The Birth of the Nation, the one that was out recently, not the original
Yeah.
19, the old one, but the one that came out with Nat Parker, which of course has its own problems. No one really wanted to see that because that was kind of ugly and very brutal, and that's what makes you uncomfortable, and that's also what doesn't win you awards is when you face the truth and the rawness of what slavery was.
Mhm.
And yes, there are evil people, but it's not saying all white people are bad. This one, it was like, there's slavery, but don't worry, we got over it, and look at what we can accomplish. We can go into cars and eat chicken together. I just didn't like that. To me, it just like it belonged on the Hallmark Channel.
I just want to say that whole part about the fried chicken. I'm pretty
Oh my
sure some
god.
people rolled their eyes when they saw that. They said, "Why you got to refer to the black people with the fried chicken?"
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that scene bothered me because it was like, okay, I can understand you're not listening to Chuck Berry, you're not listening to I don't know who it was randomly, like say Aretha Franklin, but we have to have why won't you eat fried chicken? That was that really necessary? That scene? Why couldn't it be fried fish? Or I don't eat fried foods in general. No, let's have the fried chicken. And then remember, there was also the scene that, but and in that scene, it kind of did work a little bit. Was remember when he was playing at the estate and he wasn't allowed to use the bathroom, but they made him this huge meal, and the meal included fried chicken and collard greens.
yeah, yep. Hmm.
It was just a little, but the car part was the one that bothered me. Was the KFC fried chicken scene? It could have easily been a fish basket. Why do we need two fried chicken scenes? One
Well,
would have been fine.
that's a good question. Um, yeah, part of me thinks that this movie was definitely going to get nominated for Best Picture because of the fact of them trying to address the racial issues and all this
Hmm.
other stuff. So it kind of felt like it was going to get nominated, but I mean I agree that perhaps this possibly should not be in the discussion for some of the stuff that you said. Also, you know, you know, Marsha Ali is a great actor. He's done a lot of movies. I mean he's pretty much doing everything now. So I feel like he got that award a while back for the other movie he was in. Um, so I guess that by default he was going to also be someone that they would consider, especially when they saw he was in this role as well. Oh yeah, that was going to definitely make it something worth considering. But with that said, I will give them credit on one thing, and I will just say I absolutely positively loved the final close to the final scene of that movie when they went to that last place where they were going to play and the people refused to feed him. He said, "So to hell with that. I'm not playing." I laughed when I saw it in the theater because that is the exact reaction that I would have had. To hell no, I ain't playing. You ain't gonna feed me nothing like that. Oh no, I'm not doing none of this. So I enjoyed that. But best picture, I doubt that that's going to win. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
And we mustn't also forget Viggo Mortensen. He had issues as well. Remember that whole N word rant he went on, where like even Marshall Ali was giving him that eye, like what? So you had that he went on that rant where he was like and he was saying it like heavens,
Yep.
and it was just like and he apologized for it. He really did, but good lord, so you got, it was just, and he just the more he talks to me, it just feels like he talks himself out of any type of award or appreciation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just not. And then also you have the Farley one of the Farley brothers did it, which is surprising because Farley brothers is used to, they make comedy, but he's running around and there's reports that surfacing of him running around flashing his penis everywhere. So
Oh.
it just yeah. So you got a lot of different things running around. You got Nick Vadalonga running around saying that Muslims were in New Jersey cheering during 9/11, and it was just the oddest thing ever. And then the plot itself is just it's just odd. And it kind of reminded me of, remember The Help?
Oh yeah.
That had so many problems with it as well. Just it had a lot of problems. And so, yeah. Um yeah, but it's still nominated. nominated, taking away their nomination, and they're not taking away Bohemian Rhapsody's nomination, which is, so
Well,
yay for.
honestly, honestly, let me just make this quick comment before you move on to the next movie. I'm all for any of those movies winning except for Bohemian Rhapsody. So if Black Panther wins, the Black Klansman, then I'll be happy then. But Bohemian Rhapsody, nah, son, that's a thumbs down.
Yeah, yeah. So, also we got The Favorite, which was a nice comedy. Best Picture, no, but it was a nice comedy. I
Yeah,
really liked it. It was fun.
yeah, that's the movie that I went to go to the theater and see, and I was surprised at how packed that theater was.
Hmm.
I will also admit that when I looked around in the theater, I didn't see any other people of color in this particular movie, so it was a little
No,
odd.
it's not exactly something you're gonna run and go see. If you're a person of color living in Detroit, you know, I don't exactly. I'm not saying people of color have not seen this movie. They have, but it's not necessarily in their demographic. It's not a movie that would be marketed.
Oh yeah,
So
but
you
it
know,
definitely was a lot of fun though. It was a
but it was
funny
a lot of
movie.
fun. And I say, if this is a movie that you think that doesn't appeal to you, go see it anyway. Go see movies you never thought you would see, because that is what the beauty is.
Yes.
Discover things you haven't seen. And another one, also Roma. That is a movie that I would have never seen because I'm lazy and I don't like reading subtitles, and that is done in Spanish. And it is a very beautiful movie, and cinematically, it's very beautiful as well.
So that movie, I know that was on Netflix.
It is
Um,
on. It's still on Netflix.
it's still on Netflix. So
Still on.
I just want to make a quick comment about that movie, and I'm not trying to be controversial when I say this. I found it interesting when the nominees came out. There was an article that came out that exact same day saying that Netflix is now in advanced talks with the Academy, trying to become a part of the Academy so that I guess they get recognized every time they release a movie. And then I thought that was interesting how that news came out the exact same day Roma is nominated for all of these categories. How they said that they were in advanced talks. I said, okay, so perhaps this is part of the discussion when they had these talks.
I
But
see. I don't know. I don't know how that runs like business wise, because the movie wasn't done anything with Netflix. I think they just was able to buy it.
okay.
It wasn't done with Netflix or anything. My understanding is that they're trying to secure the rights to everything,
Hmm.
because remember they're going on this buying spree.
Yeah, okay, that makes
So
sense.
that's what I think. I don't. It wasn't done in working with along Netflix.
Okay, that
I
makes
don't
sense.
understand. I don't believe so. But no. Also, moving on, we have A Star Is Born and Vice. Now, A Star Is Born destroyed my soul. It's one of those movies that I've watched once, and I need a very long period to watch it again, just because just seeing like the Oscar commercial and seeing the commercial it has for A Star Is Born, I'm already crying again. It was one of the most emotional movies, an absolutely beautiful movie. And I didn't think that it was going to be. I'm like, Lady Gaga's good. Bradley Cooper, he's okay. But I've never really been like a huge, huge Bradley Cooper fan. And this was just completely took me by surprise. And I was not aware of the plot. I purposely did not watch the other Star is Born movies. I know there's one every decade, and this one just blew me all the way. And I would not mind if it wins for Best Picture.
See, the thing is, I honestly feel, and I would be surprised if it goes any other way. This award is between this movie and Vice. It's between those two. And I would not be surprised if this wins because I also agree it was a fantastic movie. I actually, the minute that they released the first trailer from this movie, I instantly said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to see this," because I just kind of felt, again, this is Bradley Cooper's directorial debut. It looked fantastic, and then of course the soundtrack is just fantastic. So I kind of already saw when I saw that first trailer, I said, "Oh yeah, this is going to definitely get a lot of Oscar nominations, so on and so forth." And I would not be surprised if it wins. So yeah, it is emotionally draining movie, but it's excellent because you're rooting for things to turn around for Bradley Cooper's character, and unfortunately that does not happen. So it's yeah, I'm totally fine with this being nominated, but and as I said, it is between this and Vice because I enjoyed Vice. I did see that over the holidays with family. Man, that movie was just just a fun movie, and then the way that they portray the characters, like I said before on this show, Sam Rockwell as George Bush. I mean, this guy looked exactly like George Bush and was just as stupid as George Bush was as well. So the casting was excellent. The casting was excellent. So I definitely think it is between that and A Star Is Born for this award.
Wow. Yeah, I have to agree. So yeah, yeah, it got. I'm kind of surprised it got nominated just because of its silliness, but it is such a wonderful character study. So I approve of that nomination as well. So we're moving on. We're gonna do the lead actor. You ready?
Lead actor. Well, hold on.
Lead actor.
Before we move on, who do you want to win that Best Picture award between those two, or well, between anyone in the category?
Well, best picture. Well, for me, it would have to be between Black Panther and Star is Born. But if I'm gonna like be or Vice, but if I have to only choose one, I can't. But maybe just because see, it would really be between Star is Born and Black Panther. I had the most emotional response while watching it. Like I
I
was
got you.
literally like crying. I'm like, I've never seen. Yes, we had Blink Man, and we've had Blade, but let's be serious. Blink Man and Blade was not a, it did not have much emotional depth as Black Panther. I
Yeah,
mean, we were in Africa. The drums were playing. We saw the whole outfits, the costume designs, the music and everything. It was just so. It was black. It was blackety black.
yeah,
So that, but Vice, not Vice, A Star Is Born was also so emotional and it was so good, and it was realistic also. But then again, Black Panther, Killmonger, he wasn't even a villain. He was someone what you was siding with. You
yep,
that right there is good writing when you're siding with the villain, and he's like dropping bombs, and you're like, yeah, that's some truth right there.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
it made you think. Black Panther made you think. So maybe so because of that, I if I had to choose one, Black Panther, just because of how it made you think.
mm, that's good.
While A Star Is Born was just a wee bit more emotional, but Black Panther it got you thinking.
That's a
So,
very good explanation. Yes, yeah, that
so
works.
what about you? Who would you choose? Just number win that award. Period.
Well, you made it very tough with that explanation of Black Panther because it definitely did make me think. It definitely did make me think. Um, I think it would be totally mind blowing if that did win that award because I don't think anyone thinks it is going to
And
win.
no, it's not
Um,
going.
but for me personally, I uh, for me it is between Vice and A Star Is Born. If I have to pick one of those that I think was going to win, uh, I think it's going to be A Star Is Born. Only because I mean, again, the movie has won a lot of other. I mean, it's in a lot of other categories, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that. Well, yeah, some of the actors and actresses are nominated in other categories. So I have to say that, but Vice is up there. It's a close second, only because of the casting and everything else. But yeah, if I was to pick a winner for that category, it is A Star Is Born.
Okay. All right. All right then. So we're moving on to lead actor. First, we have Mr. Christian Bale for Vice, Mr. Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, got a little William Defoe for At Eternity's Gate,
Hmm,
Romley Malik for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book.
hmm.
Ah, ah. Huh.
Well,
Christian
I
Bale, I
I
think, is gonna one day just go in the hospital for his roles.
I agree. I agree with you there. Uh, but if I was to make a decision on this one, um, hands down, I think it's Christian Bale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Christian?
The reason why I say is there's a couple reasons why. Well, first and foremost, as you said, he really gets into these roles, and if it requires him to lose weight or gain a ton of weight, apparently he doesn't have a problem doing that. Um,
Oh,
I mean, I
his
mean,
snapback is good.
oh yeah, absolutely. So I say that number one. Number two, they had that whole story about they had a story about with Sam Rockwell with the director Adam McKay, who had the whole incident. Uh, what happened? Well, yeah, we okay, yeah. You okay now? All right, you're back now. But yeah, I the reason why I say Christian Bale
Yeah.
is is because of they had that whole story with Adam McKay talking about Christian Bale had all this advice about how to tell if you're having a heart attack. And he told this to Adam McKay. I guess just to show. I mean, he did his research for the character, but also the research about the fact that Cheney had all these heart issues, and he told Adam McKay about this. And then, sure enough, later on, Adam McKay had a heart attack, but he knew that because Christian Bale told him the information about it. So I kind of feel like that story. That's something that I've heard in a couple of interviews, and I think that is definitely going to play a role one way or another in something, either in somebody getting an award, whether or not this movie gets awards or some type of recognition. But I think because Christian Bale did all his research and went into this character like this, I definitely think, in my opinion, he is somebody who is the front runner to get this. But I mean, he definitely has competition. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of competition in this particular category. But I would say he definitely he would be my pick to win it, only because of all the stuff that he did to really portray himself as Cheney. And I really felt like he was Cheney when I saw this movie, with how he carried himself, so on and so forth. But we'll see.
So the heart attack did it for you. All right.
That heart attack and that story about, oh yeah, he if I wouldn't have, he helped me basically with his advice. But we'll
Okay.
see.
We'll see. Let's see. For me, I feel that it is between, it could be a three-way between Christian Bale, Bradley Cooper, and William Dafoe. I
Hmm.
mean, aside from the teeth, I really wasn't like feeling Rami Malek. Like, he was great, but I'm not like, this is an Oscar performance. Vigo, definitely not. He was just him with an accent and like a pot belly.
Yeah.
Um, but Christian Bale really transformed into that role, and he does that for anything that he is. Yeah, I mean, you remember the fighter when he was a crackhead.
Oh yeah.
So he's really great at that. A Star Was Born. Bradley Cooper, the way how they was able to do it, and he changed his voice to be like an alcoholic, and it was just so sad, and you could feel like his emotions and everything.
You know, I could definitely see Bradley Cooper winning, also because of the
And
fact that,
he's, oh gosh,
oh no, no, I can see him winning, also because of the fact that he also, I didn't even know that this guy sings, and when he sings, it sounds it's so natural to
mm-hmm.
sing. So that I was surprised with that also. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you have that as well going for him. And William Dafoe he was really great, but it was more like a subtle performance. He played Picasso, the guy with the ear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was real subtle. But for me, it's between Bradley Cooper and Christian Bale. I just don't know. And award season, they've been, Christian has been winning more than Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of Bradley's. He's been around for a while, but for me, I consider this to be his like major breakout role and his
Yeah.
major breakout. And he was also director, and the fact that he didn't get anything for best directing could help uh, get him the best actor award, the lead actor award.
Yep. Yeah.
So
That right there. Yes, that's a very good, very very good point. So yeah, that's likely to happen for
yeah,
sure. Now.
yeah, that's for me. Yeah. So moving on, we have lead actress, which is, I'm gonna butcher this, and I'm sorry, is Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, who originally, she's not an actress, by the way. She's not an actress. That's like the amazing thing. They just found her. Glenn Close for the wife, Olivia Colman, the favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me? Hmm.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
See, I didn't know Melissa McCarthy was nominated too. Now, well, that
Yeah,
makes this
she's
interesting.
she's nominated, and it was like one of the roles that I found her tolerable because she's not playing that slapstick, let's make fun of her role.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, but from yeah, I don't know. I may have to probably. Glenn Close has been winning a lot, and the movie The Wife itself is kind of like every woman's like roar. Like, oh my gosh, this is, they can relate to it. Anyone who's kind of been married, what happened to my life? Why is it this way? Or even if you're not married, what happened to my life? I had such promise. Um, so it might be for me. It's between Glenn Close and Yalitza Aparicio, which I butchered that, and I'm sorry, the Roma. Because remember, she
That's
wasn't even an actress.
yeah.
She's like a teacher.
No, you're right. You're right. Um. Yeah. That's a tough one for me. I just want to say, the wife. I have no idea what that movie is because it's not playing in any theater here in Atlanta. So that I find it interesting that was nominated, but it's not here for some reason. So they need to work on getting more movies here, I guess. um, as for what who I would say this award is probably between. Yeah, it's tough. I think Roma is going to win some awards. I don't know which award they're going to win. Um, so it's hard for me to say. If I had to pick someone to win this award, though, I my pick would be Lady Gaga. Um, and again, the character she plays, this is not like a extraordinary role for her. I mean, some of that is real life in terms of her own career, how she started out. Um, so I kind of feel like she was able to go back to when she, because I know when she did her interview, she said she was able to go back to when she started out and the struggles she had, so on and so forth. But I mean, I just think, yeah, we already know she's an excellent performer when it comes to music, but I just think she did an excellent job in the role, and I know Bradley Cooper, he wanted her specifically for this role for this movie, and really highlighted her as the main focal point of the movie. So I kind of think I could see her winning the award, uh, but I guess it all depends based on the reaction with all the other actresses, because again, the category, there's a lot of great actresses being nominated, but I would say my pick as of right this moment. Now it could change later, but my pick right now, it would definitely be her. Um, but I guess that is subject to change.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. For me, I think maybe it's just Glenn Close.
Yeah, yeah.
She's the one who's been around for like many years, and she knows what she's doing. She's really skilled, and I think that Gaga, as amazing as she is, she's still new to this. This is her first major film role.
Hmm.
So I think that they may give it over a little bit of expertise. over
That,
the
oh
younger
yeah,
girl.
yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Like I said, I would see the wife, but there's no way for me to see it right now. So I have no way of telling how that movie is. All I know is they got a lot of recognition. So
Remember,
hopefully,
she tied with Gaga
oh yeah,
during the
yeah.
Golden Globes. They both won. So I don't know.
Also, well, in that case, yeah, I really don't know. Then I guess we'll have to wait and see how that pans out because I have
Oh,
no idea.
and also don't worry, the wife will be available on DVD on January 29th.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that I will
Yeah,
find a way to watch it before the 29th, but that's good to know.
I don't condone your actions.
Oh no, 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 no. Well, we do have a
I know
place.
nothing. I
Yeah.
know nothing.
There
Oscar screeners.
you
Yay,
go.
Oscar screeners.
There you go. That's it. That's what it is.
So, moving on to supporting actor, we have Marshall Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant, Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice. This list is so disrespectful in so
uh
many ways.
so okay, yeah, describe why it's disrespectful for those that don't know.
Well, for me particularly, um, uh, Denzel Washington's son is not nominated,
Yeah. Well,
and Adam Driver, yeah,
he was the lead actor though, the son,
he was the lead
right?
actor. He's not nominated in general,
Yeah.
and
That's,
Adam Driver did not pull that great of a performance there.
yes, I agree. I agree with you there.
Um, golly, Richard, for me, we all know that Marshall Ali is winning, but I really enjoyed Sam Elliott.
Wait, hold on. Is it guaranteed that Ali is going to win?
Oh, absolutely! I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my old rickety bones.
Didn't he already win for the other movie he did?
He won for everything, and that's not a problem because he's black excellence. He can win for farting for all I care. If Meryl Streep can win 15,000 times, why can't he?
Well, this is absolutely true. I mean, he won for what is he? I can't think of that movie right now. Um, the Bill Street
I can
Katak director, the last movie he did.
Moonlight.
That's it. He won for that award, right?
It's because he just keeps being amazing. So, like I said, Meryl Streep can get 18,000 nominations. So can he.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Um, so okay, so it's him, Adam Driver, Sam Rockwell, Richard E. Grant, and who was the other person?
And Sam Elliott, Adam Driver.
Sam Elliott. That's the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who
Um,
should win something for just his voice alone? It's amazing. Just amazing.
yeah. So interesting. So well, first and foremost, so who was your pick? You said
My pick, I did not say,
okay.
but Marshall Ali is the strongest candidate for me in this list of snubs. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going with. Marshall Ali.
So as you said, he will probably win. Um, I um I think there's some other people that possibly should have gotten nominated, but that weren't nominated. Uh, but if I had to pick from this list, I say Ali probably should win, probably will win. Um, yeah, I mean, I just can't think of the. I mean, listen, Sam Rockwell as George Bush. Yeah, he looks like George Bush. He acted like George Bush. So I say that was great. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's worthy of winning the Oscar. Um, Richard E. Grant was good too. What he did. Um,
Sam
Sam
Elliott.
Elliott. Sam Elliott. Yeah, Sam Elliott is what was excellent in the movie. But I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really in the movie to the whole way through. What he
His voice
contributed
was
was
there.
still, yeah, his voice was there.
His
What
voice was there.
what he contributed to the movie was excellent. You know, um, so I could see them giving it to him. But because Bradley Cooper, but I mean, it all depends because, like I said, if Bradley Cooper wins, then I would imagine that that's going to take away from some of what some of the others could have won that were on that movie as well. I don't think they're going to give every award to A Star Is Born, but I don't know. It's like you said though. Of all the people on that list, Marshall Ali definitely the strongest one in terms of that particular category. Um, what I find interesting is that Black Panther nominated for a Best Picture, but nothing, but no other actors or actresses are nominated at all.
Michael
And
B. Jordan should have got one. That's all.
absolutely, 100% agree with that. Michael B. Jordan, if he was in this category, he should have gotten this award, but for whatever reason, I guess they said, "Nah, son, Black Panther got nominated. That's as good as it's going to get." So that's unfortunate. But if I have to pick a winner for this category, I have to agree. Marshall Ali possibly is the one because the others they're great. Sam Elliott would probably be the other runner-up. I would say they would give it to him, but I just don't. I just can't think of anyone else that on that list that would be the one primed to win it with aside from Ali. So Ali is as well is the pick.
I agree. Moving on, because I also say Mashallah because he's just the strongest contender. We have Best Supporting Actress: Amy Adams, Vice; Marina de Strada for Roma; Regina King, If Bill Street Could Talk; Emma Stone, The Favorite; and Rachel Weisz, The Favorite. So you have a lot
Okay,
of the favorites.
so I find it funny how they put them in that same category because that whole movie they are going back and forth trying to
Mm-hmm.
get in the good graces of the queen. So that's funny. Um, for me personally, I think this is very easy to see who's going to win this award, unless I am wrong, and that's going
Yeah,
to be Regina King because
yeah,
apparently she has been winning all these awards, and I mean, I did see if Bill Street can talk. I definitely understand the buzz that it has behind it. So, and Regina King, obviously, she's a good actress in just about every movie she's in. I'm glad that she finally got recognized for this particular movie, even though I think she's had better performances in other movies. That I mean, she wasn't bad in this movie, but I think she was even better in other movies. So I'm glad she got nominated. So I would say to follow the storyline of the other awards that she's already won, I think she's definitely going to win this award. That would be my pick to win. Um, but I guess subject to change depending on whatever else is going on. But I think no, I think she got this award.
absolutely, absolutely. I agree completely. I think that she is absolutely amazing and that she deserves this award. And she is the strongest contender out of all of them. And I know that you couldn't stand if Bill Street could talk, but Sprinkle me. You was like, I'm going to say, "Grr."
Oh no, yeah, hey, it's a good movie. Um,
Right over the casino. So moving on to Best Director, we have. Are you ready for this? Now, this I didn't know, and it angered me very much.
oh,
First time nominee, first time ever getting nominated
first
out of
time.
all of the movies that was done. Spike Lee for Black Klansman. Golly. All right.
I'm not sure
Powell
why that's first time, but yeah, continue. He should have got. Yeah, I'm surprised.
for
Say what?
Palel Polinskowski. I butchered that for the Cold War. Yorgos Lamos for The Favorite. Alfonso Caron for Roma. Adam McKay for Vice.
Hmm.
Yeah. No Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper should have been in this category and should have won this award, in my opinion. But I guess the Academy said nope. You were just too good of an actor in this movie, so we're gonna give you that, and that's it. You're not going to get nominated for Best Director. So interesting.
I'm
Um,
I'm baffled by that.
Let me make a quick comment about the Spike Lee nomination. Um, I think
Yeah,
that Spike Lee has done a lot of other movies that I think were, in my opinion, a lot better than Black Klansman, and he wasn't nominated at
mm-hmm.
those. What's that? What?
I was green. I said, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I find it interesting how none of those movies. I mean, I don't recall any of those movies getting nominated, nor was he ever nominated. So it's a little interesting to hear he was nominated for this particular movie. And again, I want to emphasize, I don't think the movie is bad. Uh, I just was a little surprised that it is receiving that much of the nomination. But with that said, Spike Lee, I will be surprised if he wins this award. I don't believe that he is going to win the award, but I would be surprised if he did win. Um, of all the others on that list, huh? It's tough. Um, so hint.
I'm yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have you go first. Who
You
is
should
your
just go.
who? Yeah, who
Alfonso. Alfonso.
for
Roma.
Roma? Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
That's okay. That's fine because Roma has to win something. It has to win something. All those nominations, it has to win in some categories. Um, so yeah, because one of the things that like I said, I enjoyed Vice. I mean, I have to admit that I was a little confused when Vice started though, and it jumped around to the different time periods of the life of Cheney. I was a little confused about that, and then as it got deeper into the film, then it started to even itself out. But that was really the only issue I had with the film. I know there was it was very satirical, a lot of comedy stuff in there, so that's fine. But because of how that started, and I was a little confused, I couldn't say that it was the best directed film because of that one little nitpicky thing. But it was still a funny film. I'm not saying it's a bad film. But yeah, I think Roma, yeah. Roma makes sense because as I said, Roma there has to win something. It's tougher for me to say it's going to win the best actress or the best actor stuff. It's harder for it to win in those categories because of what it's up against. But this, I think, it has a chance to win. Um, but we'll see what happens.
I just want to say really quickly that I'm upset Ryan Coogler was not nominated.
Oh yeah, oh
That was
yeah,
a
that's
visual
another one.
masterpiece. That was a visual masterpiece. Also, director Peter Ramsey was not nominated for Spider Verse, Spider Man Into the Spider Verse.
Oh yeah, yep. Oh
That
yes,
made me very angry.
you're 100% correct to be angry. Um, I uh I very much enjoyed the Mule. I'm surprised that Clint Eastwood, there was absolutely nothing. That movie was nominated for absolutely nothing at all. And before anyone says that listens to this show later, well, The Mule came out too late. Well, no, because a lot of these other movies, Vice came out Christmas Day, and The
Hmm.
Mule was out before that. So The Mule definitely could have gotten nominated for something in one of the categories. But I guess they said no. Clint Eastwood, he won. He got his nominations in the past, so he's old, over the hill. We don't need to give him no other recognition of anything. So I guess that's what they determined, but it is what it is.
And also Ethan Hawke didn't get an Oscar for First Reformed. He didn't get a nomination.
Oh yeah, yeah, mm-hmm, yeah, man.
Won't
Denzel
you
will
be my
tell
neighbor?
him.
What did that didn't get?
Denzel will tell him better luck next time, Jake.
Uh, uh, won't you be my neighbor? Didn't get nominated.
Yeah, yes, documentary. Yep, yeah.
If Bill
Mm-hmm.
Street Could Talk didn't get nominated.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Eighth grade.
Eighth grade. Yep. And that
Uh,
actress did. That actress was nominated for other awards, right? In eighth grade.
yep.
Yeah. So I don't.
And I'm
I just don't
surprised.
get it.
Baffled by First Man. I was bored to death, but it didn't get a Best Picture, and that's been getting nominated all around, even though it doesn't deserve it because
Yeah.
it's boring. So yeah. But moving on, we have Best Animated Feature. Incredibles 2 by Brad Bird, Isle of Dogs by Wes Anderson, Mary by Mamoru Hodoso, Ronet by Rich Moore and Phil Johnston, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse by three directors.
Oh,
Yeah,
Spider Verse, hands down.
Spider-Verse. Yeah, hands down Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Absolutely. No one has seen the animated shorts, but they are animal behavior. Bow. Seen Bow. And you've seen Bow.
Yeah, I
It
personally
was a
think,
dumpling.
yeah, I personally think that that's going to win that award. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that actually, I was thinking about that long after I had seen Incredibles. You know, I have forgot about the Incredibles too. I mean, it was a good cartoon, but I was still thinking about that short before. You know, I mean, after long after I finished Incredibles too. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to win that.
Yeah, it had so many layers and messages, and it made me hungry. Yeah, but I loved Bow,
Yeah,
and yeah, that was and also, by the way, when I watched Bow again, I think the mom was completely right. And also, there's a funny part which I think that people might have missed. When Bao went or left home and married that woman, remember he was like, "Here's my wife now," and she
yeah.
passed out. There's this whole thing where she's teaching the wife how to cook. I think that she can't cook, and he brought her over to the house as like, "Yeah, come meet my mom, but more importantly, please learn how to cook something." Because she was had her notepad, learn how to make those dumplings and
Yeah.
everything. She did not look like a woman who was in that kitchen cooking. Like maybe
Yeah,
she can order pizza, but she was not cooking for him, and he looked like he had an appetite. So
that's really funny. Yeah, that's a good point.
that was shady. He was very shady for that one. They got back together so that they can be on speaking terms, and he can get some cooking lessons for her because she couldn't cook.
Yeah.
Okay, so for best adapted screenplay, we have The Ballad of Buster Scruggs by the Coen brothers, Black Klansman, Can You Forgive Me, If Bill Street Could Talk, and A Star Is Born.
Mm,
Hmm. See, a lot of there was a lot of different changes were made with If Bill Street Could Talk,
yeah.
but they made it its own movie, even though you thought it was a boring movie. Black Klansman, they adapted it as well, but I like how they made something that took place in like the 60s, but brought it all the way right back to 2018
Hmm.
with the whole Trump thing.
Hmm.
Can You Ever Forgive Me? That was like pretty standard. That was pretty good. A Star Is Born, I really felt like they made it its own because there were 15,000 other movies starting back from, I believe, the 30s
Hmm.
of us, or maybe the 40s of The Star Is Born. So they really modernized it and made it its own. So for me, I would have to go with A Star Is Born.
That's a very good choice. Um, I I'm going to shock you with my choice uh,
Oh,
as to who I think is going to win.
oh,
Um, I think it's going to be Black Klansman. Now, let me
oh.
explain why that is. You know what you said about them. You know, bringing the story and sort of updating. You know, relating it back to Trump. That was impactful for certain. But I just think that the story in and of itself is an amazing story. It's a story that I know I didn't hear about before I saw that movie, and then after I saw the movie, I said, oh, let me go back and actually look into this actual book. So I think it's because it is something that no one has ever really heard about. Um, I could see it winning. I could see it definitely winning. But again, this is a category where I think anything could win because, as you said, Star is Born. Yes, they modernized that, and they did an excellent job with that. So I mean, I could see that winning too. But if I was to make a pick as to what could win, I think it's probably going to be Black Klansman. And let me just also clarify one final thing before you move on to the next topic. Um, I don't think Bill Street was a bad movie. So if that did win, I'll be fine with that also. I just think it is totally possible for any of these to in this category. There's a lot of things that could win, but Bill Street is something that could win too because again, some of these movies that got nominated, I don't think it's something where none of them are going to win. I feel like they have nominated so many things where it's a guarantee that something is going to win other than all the same movies that you would expect. But then again, I could be wrong, unless it's a clean sweep and A Stars Born wins everything. But I don't think that's going to happen. But
No.
we'll see.
Okay. Best original screenplay we have is The Favorite, First Reform, Green Book, Roma, and Vice.
So I know that the family of the musician in Green Book, they will be livid if this wins that award. So
Probably.
I hope for their sake and for the people who filmed the movie that does not happen because they will not be happy if that and they may try to take legal action if that's the case. Um,
I want. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if he does win, would Nick Vallelonga accept?
that's a good question. That's a great question. Um, Well, we'll have to wait and see. But if I was to pick someone for best original screenplay, now I didn't know that The Favorite was an original screenplay either, so that's news to me. Um, that's interesting. Um, my gut tells me what I would pick in this scenario is you said what were the other three movies aside from these two?
It was The Favorite, First Reformed, Green Book, Roma, Vice.
Okay, I would say Vice. Because
Oh,
Vice, the thing about Vice is that when I saw the movie, it said in the very beginning of the movie that they basically they took some information, but they had to also, make I guess a guesstimate as to how Cheney would have reacted in this particular situation. But the thing is that the way that they tell the story of that, what gets me about Vice, and one of the things why I think is such it is a funny movie, but there are certain parts to it that are really fantastic. Is that the whole story is narrated because of how they do the narration of the story. And I don't want to give a spoiler to people who haven't seen it, but I just think the way they handled that situation of who was telling the story and then how that's connected to what's actually happening, that really is something where I have to wonder if they wrote that from an original standpoint. I think that's a great way to write that particular story because then it's not all necessarily where you're trying to really guess. You're not really just trying to guess about how Cheney would react to a situation, but you're also presenting facts as to this is what happened, this is how it happened. You kind of make it a little bit believable. So I would say for me personally, it is Vice, but again, anything in that category can definitely win above that. So we'll see.
yeah. Okay. Not bad. I would have to, yeah. For me, it's and yeah, I'm gonna go with Roma
Okay,
just
yeah,
because it's a stronger story. I feel
I got you.
so. Moving
That's cool.
on, we have for cinematography, Cold War, The Favorite, Never Look Away, Roma, and A Star Is Born. And not if Bill Street could talk, but okay. The movie was all about
Yeah, that's
cinematography nominated for.
that's another one where there was definitely a snub
Yeah.
that was immediately that's the first thing I saw with that movie is wow, this movie looks fantastic. So to know that it's not nominated at all, that's rather unfortunate. Um, but it is what it is. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so now that that's not nominated, who was your pick for this award?
Roma.
Okay, I um I still have yet to see Roma. So
It's on
perhaps
Netflix.
yeah, I'm definitely going to see it. But perhaps that does deserve that award.
Yeah.
So until I see that, I'm going to say, well, yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, Roma possibly is the award. We'll probably win that. Now I will see Roma, and next week, if I change my mind, I will make that known and say, okay, I want to make a redacted statement, but I'll say Roma. Yeah,
Okay. Well, best documentary we have Free Solo, Hale County This Morning, This Evening, Minding the Gap, of Fathers and Sons, RBG, and not Won't You Be My Neighbor.
yeah. Won't you be my neighbor should have been in that
Yeah.
category and should have won it
Yeah.
without hands down.
Yeah.
So my guess is now, since that didn't get nominated, my guess is that Mr. Rogers movie that Tom Hanks is going to be in, or that's going to get littered with nominations when that comes out.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, hey, it will. Well, we'll see, but yeah, I do think that is unfortunate that did not get nominated. Um, and if I had to make a guess as to what's going to win this award based off of the reaction and the way that the movie has been, a success here in this city, I think it's going to be the RGB documentary, because that movie
Yeah.
just got a ton of people. That got a ton of every time I tried to go see that movie, it was impossible for me to see it because it
No,
was just always
the
packed.
no, the documentary,
The documentary,
not the movie.
not the movie. What, this isn't the
No, the movie is not no RBG the documentary, not
yeah.
on the basis of sex, which is the
Oh no,
movie.
that's what I'm talking about. Not the basis of sex, the actual
Oh,
documentary.
okay.
Because
Oh, okay.
because that came out a while back, and I know when I tried to go to the theater to see that movie, it was always packed. I had to go to see another movie instead. And then when I finally
Oh,
saw it, I was like, okay, this is a pretty good documentary. Um,
oh, okay. Because it just came on CNN here. It's on CNN all the time.
oh,
So
oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I was confused. Okay, so moving on, we have best documentary short, which I don't think anyone watched, which was Black Sheep, Endgame, Lifeboat, A Night at the Garden. Period. End of sentence. Yay them. All right, best live action short, which I'm sure no one saw. Also, Detainment, Fave, Marguerite, Mother, Skin. Yay them. Okay, best foreign language film. Uh, Capernaum, Cold War, Never Look Away, Roma, Shoplifters. I go with Roma because it's the only one I know.
Yeah, Roma. Yep, that's right.
so, so best editing. We have, oh my God, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, The Favorite, Vice. Huh.
It's not Vice. I can say that.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Those concert scenes, yes.
Yeah,
Those were some good concert scenes. So yeah.
yeah. That was essentially the only the only thing that they nailed in that movie. I think for the most part. Um, yeah. The concert scenes, and then of course the final performance. That was excellent. That was excellent. So
Okay. So for sound editing, who had the sound, we have Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, A Quiet Place, Roma. Oh dear.
sound editing,
I don't. Sound editing.
A Quiet Place.
Yeah. Because the whole movie, if you did not have your sound editing together, the movie fell apart.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So mixing. Who mixed that sound? Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, A Star is Born. Huh.
You said for sound mixing.
Sound mixing.
Hmm.
Do you know what
Wow.
that means?
Yeah. I guess mixing the
Mix that
sounds
sound.
together. Yeah.
Mixing the sounds. Make that authentic sound. Is a process by which multiple sounds are combined into one or more
Okay.
sound.
Okay. So I
It's
know. I know.
the best
I know what my pick
manipulation.
is.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no. Go ahead.
Oh, best manipulation of a sound. I don't know.
Okay. My choice is A Star Is Born because of the sequences where Bradley Cooper's character had the ear issue and the way they would interlay that in and still you hear that sound whenever he was about to do a performance and then it jumps
Okay.
right into the performance. um
Okay.
that would be my only reasoning, but that probably won't
Mine
win.
mine goes for First Man.
Okay, so you did enjoy First Man.
No, I enjoyed that it was over. I was bored, but the parts that I did not fall asleep on had some good sound mixing.
Okay, that works, that works.
Work, work. So, best production design we have Black Panther, First Man, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Roma.
Hmm,
Who designed that production?
that's tough for
Ah,
me.
it looked pretty.
There's a lot of things that look pretty in these movies. um I'm not sure. What's your pick?
You're like, I don't know. Go to you. Um, all right, so let's see. If we're doing style of sets, the locations, the graphics, the props, the lighting, putting all that whole scene together so that it looks authentic, I would have to go with Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
It was half animated, it was live action. You had the whole, and the really great part is that it was practical. You know that scene that's always playing in the commercials where Mary Poppins dives in back from her back and she slides into the tub?
Yeah.
That was a real. They cut out a hole in the tub and created a slide.
Hmm. Oh,
All
okay.
of those little scenes and special effects and how practical and how they blended in the 2D animation and the dance scenes. Yeah, Mary Poppins Returns.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
second, if not that, then I'm cool with Black Panther winning.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I was thinking when you said the production set, the all this. Yeah, Black Panther, I would think is
I
because I
mean,
remember
you couldn't tell
the
me
fight
that was
sequences, all that.
Wakanda.
Oh yeah,
That was Wakanda. I don't care what anyone says. Wakanda is real and they shot on location.
absolutely.
Okay, so best original score. So it sound not. We have Black Klansman, Black Panther,
Hmm.
If Bill Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins Returns. Ooh.
Original soundtrack.
Original score, so
Oh,
the
score.
music.
Okay.
Oh shoot. See for me, my heart goes to Terrence Blanchard, who did Black Klansman.
Yeah.
But if Bill Street Could Talk was just
Yeah.
beautiful.
I would say Bill Street could talk for this.
Right.
Yeah.
So all right. So best original song we
Uh
have
oh. Now this is a tough one.
which which by the way, this officially means that these are Oscar nominees, okay? So if they don't win, they still got their Oscar nominees, and if they do win, they're gonna have their Oscar, which
Hmm.
this is amazing. Kendrick Lamar and SZA were nominated for all of the stars from Black Panther.
Oh
So
yeah.
Kendrick Lamar could be an Oscar winner. I'll Fight from RGB, which was by Diane Warren and Jennifer Hudson.
Mm.
Get your Oscars. The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins
Ooh.
is Mark Shaman by Scott Whitman. Shallow from A Star is Born by Lady Gaga, Mark Ronson, Anthony Ramondo, Andrew White, and Bradley Cooper did not write that song. He wrote the other song. which is not nominated.
Uh-oh.
And lastly, we have When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings from the Ballad of Buster Scruggs by David Rawlings and Gillian Welch. I'm going with Shallow because it's shallow
Yeah,
and I can't get that song out. But if I could second it, I all of the stars is just also.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think all of the stars is, yeah, that's a song that definitely gets stuck in your head. I've heard it played everywhere. Um
Mhm.
so I definitely would have that you know, in the category, but for my personal favorite, it is Shallow. Because once
All
again,
right.
when I saw that first trailer of A Star Is Born and they sing that song and they're like, oh yeah, oh hell yeah, that sounds fantastic. That made me want to see the movie even more. So yeah, I'd say that song Shallow
All right.
wins.
Shallow. 'Cause we're far from the shallow now. All right. So best hair and makeup. There were a lot of snubs, I feel, but here we go.
Uh-oh.
Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice. I am fascinated by that.
Only three
Okay.
movies.
Only
Only three
three
movies.
all of these movies with their hair and their makeup looking on point,
That's
you
crazy.
know. But
I'm
yeah,
surprised Mary Scott's. I mean, I'm surprised that that's. I mean, that's
how do you
wow.
nominate Mary of Scots and not do The Favorite, and
Yeah,
also not do Bohemian Rhapsody with that those teeth?
yeah.
And then, I'm fascinated by that and the fact that, oh my gosh, I just didn't get it. I don't get it, but whatever. Okay, so those are the three.
Um.
They're not even that strong, but okay.
So the hair and makeup.
Hair and
Um.
makeup. Who put that wig on the best?
And the makeup.
Yeah,
Who looks great.
only three choices, man.
Vice. Vice.
Advice. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going with Mary Queen of Scots because Scots
Oh,
and
there you
stuff.
go. Yeah.
Okay, so we have costume design. So who put on that dress and that corset and all that
Oh,
mess?
this is easy.
Which, by the way, features a first time that is a black woman has been nominated for this. I'll let you guess which movie it is.
Oh, I
So
know.
we
I
have
know which movie.
the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, The Favorite, Mary Poppins Returns, and Queen of Scots.
So, no
Best
dis,
costume.
no
Yeah.
disrespect to the other nominees, but 120% Black Panther needs to win this.
Oh, okay.
I cannot see. Like I said, the favorite. Yeah, it's good. All these other movies got nominated. That's great, but hell no, Black Panther has to win this.
Only so many times you can see a corset and we care. I'm going with Black Panther. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, best visual effects. So this means these are Oscar nominated movies.
Uh oh.
Okay. So Oscar nominated movies we have here: Avengers: Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One is now an Oscar nominated movie,
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
Solo: A Star Wars Story is an Oscar nominated movie. Take all your hate for that. It's an Oscar nominee. So
So so
visual effects.
so first and foremost, visually, I could say that Star Wars looks good, but that movie
No,
has a ton of
no,
issues. So no, that's
no,
not winning.
no.
In my personal opinion, what I would pick for this visual effects, um, I hate to hell with it. I hate, I don't really care who will listen to this and think, oh, this guy is wrong for saying this. I think it's Avengers Infinity War. Um, visually, visually, it just
Yes.
visually it just floored me just how great that movie looked.
He
So that
threw a moon. He threw a moon.
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with Infinity War, but First Man is gonna win because
Yeah, yep.
space and
For
people
I just
like
was gonna
war
say
and
that.
space. But
Yeah,
Avengers was a space movie.
yeah. It was, but it was a much more enjoyable and
It was
entertaining movie than First Man. So
it was
yeah.
technically a space heist movie.
Yeah.
So so yeah, that my people, that is all the nominees.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is yeah. But so now Ready Player One and Star Wars is an Oscar nominated movie.
Yeah, well, I will say, Ready Player One also looked good, but again, these movies.
I was the only one who liked the movie. I don't care. You give me Chucky, I'm good.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
get my
yeah.
Chucky.
I mean, visually, that movie looked fantastic.
Visually
Visually, it looked
amazing.
fantastic. Yeah, I have nitpicky criticisms of that movie, but it still, I will say this though, I enjoyed that movie a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed Solo Star War a movie. So I give him credit for that.
Uh,
So yeah.
blah.
Yeah, that Solo movie. That's a perfect title because we don't need no one should see
Solo.
that movie in a group. You know.
And it's still on Netflix, and I've had it for. I still have not watched it. I can't get
Oh
past the
well,
first 10 minutes. So
you
bad.
trust me. You don't need to see it. And if you're a fan of Donald Glover, you will not be you be very disappointed that they cast him in
I
this
would be
role.
okay. It
Yeah.
looks awful. It's just it's so bad. But yeah, that would be everything. So yeah. Any final words? Any screw you to the Academy?
Well, I would encourage the Academy to watch every movie, not just the movies that we know. Well, we see that the Golden Globes has nominated this movie, so now we have to nominate. No, I would encourage them to watch every movie across the board, and
Yeah,
before and don't always try to do what everyone else is doing. Try to be different with some of these picks
yeah,
because it just doesn't make any sense. And some of the stuff that did get snubbed is just unfortunate circumstances, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
that's all I would say.
So yep. And for me, lastly, movies were great. Some really sucked. I will never understand the inclusion of Bohemian Rhapsody. Um, but I will do this. I will say one thing. Shout out to the GLAD Awards who scrubbed their nomination from their whole system. They will not even recognize that movie just because of Brian Singer. Screw you, Brian Singer.
Oh yeah, I agree,
And
a hundred
yeah,
percent.
and lastly, absolutely. And lastly, sad news. There was Top Chef star Fatima Ali. She died at 29 from cancer. Which if you, I'm obsessed with cooking shows, so that was so heartbreaking and
Twenty
so sad.
nine.
29 years old.
That
Well,
is that.
Marie lost a comedian at 32 who was the co-writer of um the El Rey show, the little. I'm sorry, not El Rey, Little Rel.
Yep, I heard about
He
that.
was 32.
Man,
Yeah.
well, I would tell people
Kim
to.
Porter, who was 47. Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, yeah. No,
Kim
that's
Porter was
horrible. That's
47.
horrible. I didn't realize that she was that young though. 29. That's.
She was 29. She had cancer.
Yeah.
She had earrings sarcoma, which is a bone cancer, and
Ooh.
she that was diagnosed in 2017. She was cancer free in 2018, but it returned a few months later in September, and it claimed her life
Uh,
very
wow.
quickly.
That's horrible. Well, we gotta send condolences to the family and friends. But that's man,
Hmm.
that is just that's just gonna end this ends things on a very sad note. Um, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
oh no, but I would encourage for those listening live or later. Uh,
Hmm.
we appreciate the continued support. But yes, definitely go out there, live your life,
Live
cherish
your
every
life.
day because you just don't know what's gonna happen. the next day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Yes.
And next week we'll be back with our complaints and loves of new movies that came out. Sundance is this weekend.
Uh
There are a
oh.
lot of movies to talk about. We got two documentaries, one about Michael Jackson, sex abuse, called Leaving Neverland. The disrespect of that we will talk about. Also, Harvey Weinstein. Finally, we got our first documentary, which doesn't really say anything new, but to actually watch it and to hear these stories that the women had to go through. For example, the NDAs that they signed to get abused, and they're so allowed to talk to a therapist to help them get over the abuse.
That's
That's how
crazy.
complex it was. So we'll talk about that.
Absolutely. Looking forward to those discussions. Um. So yeah, I guess
Yay!
that's it for now. Guess we'll talk to you all
Indeed.
next week.
Awesome.